In the two previous videos, we discussed about the first and second ayah of Surah Al-Muzammil. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing about the third ayah in this surah. We're going to be following the same pattern, first analyzing each key letter and then analyzing each key word. But before that, we have to understand the previous ayah. We have to understand this ayah in the light or in the shadow of the previous one. So, before we get into this ayah, the third ayah, I'm going to revise the previous ayah just slightly for you. So the previous ayah, which was Qumil layla illa qalila, was talking about Qum, which is stand up or rise, al-layl, the night, illa, except, qalila, a little, a small amount. So it was commanding us, or the Prophet ﷺ, to rise at night, or the full of the night, or save a little. So now we have to understand this ayah in the light of that ayah. So first I'm going to recite this ayah in front of you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا صدق الله العظيم. First, let's dive into the letters in this ayah. So the noon symbolizes seed, the inner soul, mystery. Sad, clarity, expansion under pressure. Fa, speech, articulation, emergence. Ha, which is a subtle spirit or the breath. Then we have Wow, which is the unity, divine connection. Then we have Hamza, which is the initiation, assertion. Then we have Wow, openness, option, flexibility. Then we have Noon again, hidden potential, point of emergence. Qaf, deep power, control. Sad, inner truth, subtle illumination. Then we have Mim, which is the enclosure, womb, source of birth. Then we have Noon, which is the subtlety, seed-like essence. Then we have Ha again, which is the breath, the spirit. Then we have Wow, which is the wholeness, the binding. Then we have Qaf, which is the depth. Then we have Lam, which is the illumination, the alignment. Then we have Ya, which is the nearness. Then we have Lam again, which is the clarity. So these were the letters in this ayah. Now the first word is Nisfahu, which means half of it. And half of what exactly? So we have to go back to the previous ayah. Half of the night. The previous ayah was talking about standing up at night. Save a little. And now it's saying half of it. So if we talk about a spiritual interpretation, Nisfahu reflects that half of the night in prayer can be as profound as a full. Quality and sincerity are key. We discussed it in the previous video too, that sincerity is the actual key. Quantity doesn't matter. Sincerity is the key. And even a small portion of time spent in devotion carries full meaning and potential. And it's a reminder that no part of the worship is wasted. It also says that divine presence is not confined to quantity, but to the depth of connection and effort. So if you take in the effort, that is what actually matters. Aw here means or. So it's actually a conjunction. It's used as a conjunction to combine the nisfahu to nisfahu avinkus. Aw is connecting avinkus, inkus, and nisfahu. So it's connecting these two parts of the ayah. So it's a conjunction used here to present an alternative or option in the command regarding the portion of the night that one is to stand in prayer. So basically it's saying half of it or. So it's giving us more options. Half of the night or. If we talk about the spiritual interpretation of the conjunction aw, it implies that flexibility and mercy in the divine command. And it offers options. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offers the options. because He knows the circumstances of His servants. So it also implies that no single form of worship is obligatory, and there is room for choice based on one's capacity. Then it says mercy in moderation. Our deen, our religion talks about moderation, and it is showing that. So it shows moderation with alternatives, showing that the effort is valued or the rigidity of the act. So it doesn't matter if you do half of the night or you decrease it a bit more. What matters is the effort you put into it. So this was aw. Now we have inkus. Inkus means decrease, reduce, subtract. So it's also an imperative verb. So if we talk about inkus, it's decrease, which means decrease from what? Decrease from the night. So first we learned half of it, or half of the night, or now we're saying decrease from the half of the night more. So if we talk about the spiritual interpretation of inkus, it also suggests the balance and moderation in devotion. Allah commands that one can decrease the time spent in prayer if needed, reflecting spiritual ease. And the value of the worship is not in the quantity, but in the quality and sincerity behind it. It shows that sincerity is the key. As we already said, sincerity is the key. It shows mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It shows that He knows the limits of His servants, because He created us. He knows everything about us. He knows that sometimes we might need to decrease from the half of the night too. So then we have minhu. Minhu means from it. So we can say from what? Decrease from it, from the night, reflecting back to the previous ayah. It also shows the flexibility in the divine command. It shows the continuity of connection. It shows that the reduction of time spent in prayer doesn't sever the spiritual flow. It doesn't sever the spiritual flow. It might be a temporary adjustment, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that because of some reasons, our servants might need to reduce this amount of time spent at night. Because at the end of the day, as I said, He created us. He knows our limits. So then we have kalila, a little. So decrease from it a little, a small amount or slightly. Again, it shows that small acts of worship are highly valued by Allah. It shows the mercy and ease. So from all of this, we can say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is providing a way for His servants, to reduce the amount of standing or arising at night. It is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling His servants that He knows the limits of His servants. He knows sometimes we might be sick or something like that, and we might need to reduce the amount of standing or arising or waking at night. This also can show the love that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for His servants. He knows, He created us, so He knows our limits. He knows our boundaries. So this was ayat number 3, and thank you so much for watching, and assalamu alaikum.